Just a couple of best friends hanging out, best friends hanging out, best friends hanging out.
Yeah. All right, friends. Well, I'm back. And my back. God, my back hurts. It's been a while since I've done one of these podcasts, so it does feel awkward being here by myself, talking at my wall. The wife in the other room, hopefully she can't hear this too much because it's pretty humiliating to talk to yourself at yourself. Hopefully you guys tune in, and maybe some of our other random listeners on our YouTube channel will comment how good the content is. But yeah, I totally fucked my back up. That definitely happened yesterday. This might have honestly all started because of the spike ball game, which I went a little hard in the paint for, despite only getting fourth place. I could definitely feel my body all tight for Saturday evening and Sunday during the day, Monday in the car. And then I decided to finally go for a jog yesterday, that's Wednesday morning, and felt a little tight, not gonna lie. Wasn't my best performance jogging. And I got home, I was sitting on the couch trying to plan my Italian honeymoon, and I look up and I see my cat Presley taking a fat piss in one of our houseplants. And that was really upsetting to me, obviously, so I kind of rush over there. And, you know, when I rush, it's not that fast, but it's not slow either. But it was a little too fast this time around, and my back just went, nope. And I was in bed all day until I had to go to work, and then I gutted out work with like some extra strength Tylenol, and it was a brutal 7 hours at work. And I was icing it all last night, icing it all morning. So here I am recording this a little later than I wanted to. I was going to do it yesterday, but I was literally in bed the entire time until going to work. So it's a little bit late, but hopefully you guys are enjoying that. So just a couple of best friends hanging out podcast is here to review the weekend, which I think we can all agree was maybe one of the best weekends we've ever had in terms of performances and memeability, outcomes, and also just the amount of people who showed up was, I think, the most. Maybe we had everybody show up to Pebble's apartment draft, which was also very fun, but this one definitely holds a special place, I think. So let's kind of review the weekend. Let's start on Friday. So Friday comes around. It's one of those mornings. I guess actually maybe I should start this on Thursday. So I do my gig or whatever, and I decide it's probably a good time to actually start tuning up for these events. So I talk Amber into doing relays and beer pong and all this kind of stuff. And she kicked my ass in the relays. It was not a good performance for me. And I was like, this is a harbinger of bad things to come. I mean, granted, she was running in front of me a lot right before I was going to shoot. And then she would shoot and then win, which had its own frustrations. But we also played beer pong, and I went 3-0 in beer pong. So maybe also a harbinger of things to come. But needless to say, we drank a lot, and I was trying to prepare. I was like, well, if I get hungover as fuck on Friday, how am I going to get hungover as fuck on Saturday too? Sound logic. So I drank a lot. We watched Love Island till like 2 a.m., and that show is fucking awful. These people are so vapid. And also, I didn't realize how much plastic surgery 20-year-olds have now. It's ridiculous. It's like everything from like lip filler to shaving their chins down. Oh my God. It's crazy. Like they make their those lip fillers, I feel like it makes their lips look like what's it called? A half pipe, like a skate ramp or whatever. I'm like, what are you doing there? It's a tough look, and unfortunately that's the look you get in Love Island. So we were watching that for far too long. Finally went to bed. Woke up, I think, at like 6 or something, and just felt really, really tired. Didn't feel hungover, and got ready to go. Picked up Adam, from the BART, and we went to Sean's house where he drove all the way to Malibu. So we decided a few days before, I text our little Bay Area group like, "Do you guys want to drink White Claws on the way down?" It's like a no-brainer. So I went to Costco and got a Costco-sized pack of White Claws. So we had that in the car in our cooler with a little freezer bag from Blue Apron in there, which helped keep everything nice and cool. Sean gave me, I don't think it was a Tito's Bloody Mary, like those pre-made Bloody Marys in a can or whatever, something like that. And it was spicy as shit. And I drank that to start. We got bagels, listened to tunes, beautiful stuff. Started drinking White Claws at about 9:45, 10, just like it was a football Sunday. So things were really getting off to a good start. And honestly, the trip down was one of the most fun. My favorite moment was around Ventura, when Adam had to pee so bad. And he was actually the one in the car the whole way down that was like, if anyone would like to make a stop, I'd be cool with it. You know, you never want to be that guy. So everyone's trying to hold out as much as possible to not be that guy. But unfortunately, Adam was that guy on the way down. And I took some photos of him like gripping his seatbelt, which were great. I posted it in the group because he had to pee so bad. He was just holding on for dear life to his seatbelt. I took a few videos of him frantically trying to find the restroom in the Vons we stopped at. And then when we get there, there's like a coded lock on the door, and he's just in full panic mode. And then there's this weird lady there who she was like, "Why don't you just knock on the door to see if anybody's in there?" And it's like, lady, I think we've already gotten past that point. So finally, Adam got to pee. We all actually had to pee, but we were just holding it in. And finally we got to that disc golf situation. Now, when I tell you this is the worst disc golf course I've ever been to in my life, I mean, it's the absolute worst. We were trying to pair it up with Texas. Well, I realized that I quit after about 6 or 7 holes, maybe 8 or 9 holes in Texas. We quit after 2.5 holes of this one. So it's bad. It was like 103, 105 degrees at this point, just a straight up desert, brambles everywhere. Everything's brown. Pretty ugly shit. And we threw our first discs. Everything went well. I think we all parred. Maybe Sean bogeyed. And then we went to disc hole number 2, and Adam just absolutely, well, beforehand he was talking about how he met that dude in Berkeley who like fishes the discs out of the water. And then when he fishes them out, he like tries to give them back, but if he can't give them back, he sells them to you at a discount, or maybe even gives them away. I think we've all met that crazy homeless dude in Berkeley Aquatic. Adam was telling us about how this was his favorite disc and how excited he was to get it, blah, 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 blah. So he steps up to the tee and just bombs it completely as far as the eye can see, fading down the hill into the brambles, into the brush, until you can't see it at all, and it's gone. He just threw it away immediately, which was a bummer for Adam and everyone else involved. I threw one that looked like it was going to be really easy to find into the hill on the left, and then I was searching for it for like 10 minutes, and finally Bacon found it. Bacon parred. O'Malley, I think, got a bogey, maybe even a double bogey, and he quit. Adam was so bummed out about losing his disc, he quit. So Bacon and I played hole 3. Oh, O'Malley threw for hole 3, but then like was over it. I parred. Bacon birdied. So Bacon ended up taking the 3-hole crown. I got +1, and then did not finish. Sean did not finish Adam. So the disc golf was brutal, and we look down and we see, all the other boys playing, and they're like way ahead of us, and they look like they're having a miserable time. We talked to Pebbles afterwards. He was like, there were black widows everywhere. Black widows everywhere. And I'm like, fuck, dude. At least we didn't see any black widows. That would have made it even worse. So, yeah, I would say that has to be the top of the list for the worst disc golfing experience I've ever had. I mean, you guys know me. I don't really love disc golf, but this one was fucking brutal. So after that, we piled back in the car. We tried to prank the boys by putting White Claws under their tires, but they sniffed that out pretty quickly. So didn't work. Got to Malibu, immediately jumped in the pool. It was a great pool day experience. All the boys came. It's always nice to see everybody. Very exciting. We just drank the whole time, too. We never stopped drinking. I never really drank that much water. The food was a little scarce. And it was just a, binge fest, basically. And then we start playing Nemesis, beer pong, all this stuff. Getting a few arguments here and there. Made the bet with O'Malley about the fucking most questionable Nemesis game in history. Seriously, we're not all sure what happened because we're all pretty tipsy there. But what I thought I saw happen was either somebody hit Max while he was throwing, or Max threw by himself and hit it off his hat. So it was just a bad, fucked up shot, either by fault of his teammate or by him. And then he picked the ball up again and sunk the last cup. So was he in his throwing motion? Was he not in his throwing motion when it was deflected? Who knows, really? I would wager he was in his throwing motion, and that was super, super questionable victory. But sometimes you have bad beats, and we had a bad beat. Pebbles and I also had a bad beat, where we were up, I think, by like 5 cups, and they had 1 cup left. And then he juggled a deflected ball into a cup, and then they made the same cup, and then they made the same cup again, and ended up beating us, which was brutal. That was another brutal loss. So it was kind of a night of bad beats for old Stu. And when I went to bed, I felt pretty normal. I didn't feel too drunk, too sick, or anything like that. Adam yacked. Apparently, a few other people might have yacked that night. But when I woke up at about 2 o'clock, 1:45-ish, I felt awful. Like the room spinning, you feel dehydrated, and it's just like just puking all water. There was no, it was like I didn't eat anything. There was nothing but water in it. So I went and drank some water and lay back in bed, which 45 minutes later, I thirsty again. So I go upstairs to get a liquid IV, and I see Max up there. So I'm talking to him a little bit, telling him about how horrible I feel. And the second I took 1 sip of the liquid IV, I just run to the upstairs bathroom now, and I puke in there, and everyone can hear me, I'm sure. So that's 2 toilets and 2 pukes. Went back down and died a little. Or I forgot to mention, I took little death showers in between all of these, like Scott back in the day. Hot, cold, because I felt so overheated and shitty. So then I lay down again, woke up again, I think around like 5 or 6, same situation, and hangover shower, dead. And at this point, I think, it's kind of like a fever dream. Like a bunch of the boys are coming in talking to me, trying to help me out. And Pebbles finally helped me out. He got my computer bag, which had all my hangover gear in it, which I thought was in my regular bag. And he gave me a 5-hour rally, and I took that and lay down for a little while. And then finally, I think it's Colin, Adam, and maybe Weaver come into the room. They're like, "How you doing, big guy?" And not doing good, legitimately not doing well. And I'm like, I feel a little better. At least I can keep down liquids now. And they're like, "Oh, well, we're leaving in under 10 minutes. And that was a shocking revelation to me. So I had to rally really quick. I got up, took 1 last hangover shower for the road. If you're counting at home, that's 4 hangover showers from 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. Just feeling brutal. Ate a bagel, took some ibuprofen, drank another thing of 5-hour energy and liquid IV, and hit the road. And by the time we got to the beach, I was actually feeling pretty good. So beach time happens. We've got the cornhole. We've got wiffle ball. We're trying to figure out how wiffle ball works. Sand's hot for sure. The sand is hot and gravelly too. Just not good sand. So wiffle ball begins, and it's just a snooze fest probably for the first 4 innings or so. But eventually it starts to get a little more interesting. Start to change the rules. One-handed clean catches, no bobble. And that's when things started to pick up. I was very fortunate no balls came my way because I was feeling pretty shitty until about the 3rd or 4th inning. But I felt like I had a pretty good rally. I think I got three hits, I think. Might have gotten 4 hits, but I think 3 for sure. And I thought I had a good individual performance. Our team, it was a back and forth game. The last few innings was purely back and forth. I think there were 3 or 4 lead changes, which is pretty awesome. And really, it was a much ado about nothing. We were always rabbling about the total points at the end of it. But I think at the end of the day, I mean, it was just a 1-point differential, which only caused one. I think Pebbles went ahead of me by 1 point, I'm pretty sure, by the end of it. Maybe there were a few others. I didn't see the final standings. Actually, I have them right here. Let me take a look. Let me bring them up. It's fascinating fucking podcasting when I'm shuffling through my albums on my phone trying to figure it out. All right, here we go. So there were a few separated by 1, but one was Bill, so that one doesn't count really because he won. Yeah, it would just be Pebs over me. So that was the only one that really affected. Yeah, O'Mal's was on my team, so it doesn't affect. Yeah, so Pebs over me was the only one that the wiffle ball really affected in the long run. So we go to play cornhole, open up the cornhole box, and Max forgot all the bags, which is a fucking bummer. I was legitimately practicing cornhole all week because I knew it was going to be one of my weaker competitions. And by the end of the week, I was actually doing pretty good. I was throwing about 8 bags every time, and I had to get like 7 on the board at least, some of them inside. So I felt like I was going to do pretty well. But all much ado about nothing, just like everything else in our league, because there was no bags to play with. So we play spike ball, and it's another game that I'm like, fuck, I haven't played spike ball in probably since the last time we played in this league, which is such a long time ago. So I get paired up with Weaver, which is very cool. And I honestly don't have the teams or the rankings here or the whatever. So I can only really speak to my games. Colin and Evan played with Weaver and I to start, and definitely some questionable calls by Evan. He was basically playing Florida Ultimate version of Spike, where you just call everything and just do over shit that doesn't work your way. And it went their way in the end. They beat us. I think it was 15-11, and they obviously were one of the better teams anyway, so I think they probably would have taken it. They beat the shit out of Bill and Brad, and then we played Bill and Brad and beat them, and then we played Pebs and Bacon, and we went down big to start, and then we came back and were winning big, and then I talked shit, and then we lost in the end. So there you go. In between that, I got destroyed by a giant Malibu wave. It tossed and turned me like a child. I was gripping the ocean floor trying to find my bearings. I hadn't swallowed so much seawater or felt so out of control in a break like that. That's what the cool people call it, right? A break. Anyway, I hadn't felt that out of control in a long time. So I have a newfound respect for Poseidon and his ocean after that. Anyway, so that I feel like that's pretty much it for beach. Like our feet were just burned to death, and we were just ready to get out of there by the time we did. Once we got back, like everyone had that beach day hangover where you're like sun beaten, tired, feet hurt, exhausted. Probably people's hangovers are sprouting up from the previous night. So we kind of had some downtime, watched some college football, chilled. People played a board game, which was fucking ridiculous. That took way too long. And then we started preparing for beer pong. Bill and I played Max and I think Evan, maybe, for a warm-up game, and we got destroyed. Bill and I did. And we're like, well, at least it was a warm-up game. And sure enough, once the bracket started hitting, we did so well. We cleaned it out. I remember a miraculous performance by Pebbles. He self-team trolled Evan, which was amazing. He got 10 cups, which is, I feel like it should be a special award in and of itself to make 10 cups in a beer pong bracket game. Like, that's pretty fucking clutch to do that. And Pebbles did that, and Evan was definitely out of sorts. He was in his own head. He was smacking the table, pacing, cursing. the usual frustrated Evan shit. And by the time we got to the championship game, it was Weaver and forgive me, who was his partner? Oh my god, I'm drawing the worst blank. Let's see. I'll just have to look at this thing again and see how many points he had. Beer pong. All right. Weaver had 10. All right. He was with Kurt. 10. And Bill and I absolutely shredded them. I think we beat them by 7 cups. I think they asked for the desperation flower in the end, and I think we still ended it before they could make one. So it might have been 7. We absolutely destroyed them. So Bill and I won the beer pong tournament, which was the highlight for me, for sure. It was probably the best. It was the best competition that I placed in. So the beer tasting came around, and this one was much trickier than we had all anticipated. There were 5 beers, 1 through 5. There were 3 pale ales, 1 IPA, and 1 and then the 805. Is that right? Jeez, anyway. 2 pale ales, 2 pale ales, a hazy. Was it even hazy? I don't fucking know. Anyway, 1 was fruit forward, and I think most of us got that one right. That was 5. Everyone got 805 right, which was 3. And then all the other ales, like the Stone IPA, the Arrogant Bastard, and the Dale's Pale Ale, were all confusing. I thought, actually, more to come on this, much controversy to come later. But I thought that I had only gotten 2 correct, which is 4 points. So I did not do well. A few people got all 5, which is really impressive. And my favorite was when Brad hedged his bets by picking a bunch of pale ales or whatever, and then he got them all wrong. So the only thing he got right was 805. So he double hedged, but he double hedged the wrong bet. So double wrong. So nothing out of hedges, which is pretty fucking anti-clutch, Brad. It looks like you're just going to have to drink more beer. Get better at beer. The relay at this point, I think Colin was in first place. I knew I had my destiny in my hands. Pebbles might have had his destiny in his hands unless he played Colin in the finals. I was like, unless I play Colin in the finals, if I just win, I will win this whole competition. And I got a great time trial. I got the lowest time in the trials. And then I played against Bacon, who had the worst time in the trials, and he beat me. I just fucking sucked. I don't know. I don't blame anything but myself. I played horrible game. Then I had a bet against Colin, beat him, and then lost to Kurt. So very forgettable relay for me. I have not been the same at relay lately. And I think the highlight for sure was Adam contesting the title for what's it called? The Undisputed Hall of Fame drinking champion. And this is a hot button topic. Is it the relay winner or is it the overall competition winner? So Adam won the relay but got smoked in the competition. Bill won the competition and had a very respectable showing in the relay. He was second. I think that from my perspective, you can't lose the whole thing and be given a championship belt. I think that's ridiculous. I know that the relay is kind of the staple of the whole thing, but there's no universe where you should be a loser, an overall loser, and win the belt. That's like the winner of the AFC West getting the Lombardi Trophy. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about here? It doesn't make any sense. So I think that Bill is deservedly undisputed champion. I think maybe to be a Hall of Fame, an undisputed Hall of Fame drinking champion, you need to win the relay as well. That would like be Hall of Fame shit. But I definitely think Bill deserves a belt. As we all do, he has the belt. So congratulations, Bill, and congratulations to Adam. That was definitely one of the highlights. Very exciting finals. Adam cleaning house. One flip cup, one bounce, big monster drinks, and then one shot sinking it. Amazing stuff. He was dialed in. So congratulations, Adam. After that, just more drinking. But I think everyone kind of started to realize like the draft is approaching fast. We need to get into bed and get ready for it. Now, before I get into the draft, I had a few mailbag questions, which, by the way, you guys sucked at. I only had a few people send me questions, and they sent me a lot of questions, so I'm going to have to pick which one. First of all, hangover rankings. It was definitely me. I'm not going to rank everybody, but I was definitely the most hungover. I think Brad was pretty hungover on Sunday, but definitely me. It seemed like O'Malley was hungover on Monday, but he also claimed to be sick. All right. Let's see. The other one is, did moving to a spot with only Amber affect your draft competition? No, I don't think so at all. I mean, obviously, I'm 35 now, and I'm not playing cup games at all. But she actually really helped me on Thursday night play. And so that was pretty amazing. I think I probably would have done worse had I not competed with her that night. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I pretty much answered most of these questions. You know, I don't think that marriage is difficult. That's a question from Alice. What is the most difficult part of marriage? I don't think it's difficult. I think, relationships can be difficult for sure. It's just navigating them. Like, everything has its ups and downs. We've all fucking had our ups and downs. You just have to navigate it well. I don't find any one particular thing like more difficult. I didn't think like a light switch went off and all of a sudden something was difficult. It's just, it's life. And for the most part, things are really good. So can't really complain too much. I don't think people were roster baiting too much. I think everyone was, sorry, I'll read the question. Rank the league in terms of total roster baiting time this weekend. Definitely there were a lot of dudes staring at the draft board for a while after it, which I can't look away fast enough from the draft board. But I don't think there was a lot of roster baiting. I think a lot of people were just like very meh about their team. I didn't think anyone thought there was a team that was the best or the worst or whatever. I just feel like everyone is too experienced at this point, too apprehensive. We know that the league is not fully won or lost in the draft. It's purely speculative. We have no fucking idea. Like, who knows? It's a dart. Every pick is basically an educated dart throw. That's the way I feel about it. So those were some good mailbags. And then there was another mailbag question that I received. Let's see here. Biggest upsets in the competition. Clearly it was the 12-1 Bacon beating me in the relay. I hate to say it, but that's true. Favorite walk-up song. Well, I guess we'll get to that in the draft. And best, worst pick of the draft. Get to that in the draft. And then this is some information regarding the competitions that I received from an anonymous source that I think this information rather was a little bit frustrating on my end. You and Pebs were separated by 1 point. Your beer tasting document was lost. This is true. It was then found later. I think it was found on Sunday morning. The tally omitted one correct beer answer, which would have put you in front of Pebbles. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. If this is true, which I was convinced that I got 4 right because I was talking to Evan and I think he got 4 right as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I was convinced that I had 4 points. Now apparently my beer tasting document says otherwise, so maybe I misremembered which numbers I put or where I put what. But apparently I got 6 points in the beer tasting, not 4. So I was placed behind Pebbles. Now, does this make me frustrated? Yes, it makes me frustrated. Does it make me question my draft? Of course, everything would probably be somewhat different had I been placed ahead of Pebbles in the draft. But the one glaring draft pick is Kyler Murray being drafted right ahead of me. Let me pull it up so I can give the exact pick. All right, here we go. I probably should have been already on this, right, guys? All right, draft results. Here we go. So let's find Kyler. All right. So in round 7, Kyler Murray, and this was after a giant quarterback run. I mean, before that, in round 6, I thought someone got drafted in round 6. All right, Herbert got drafted in round 5. Let's do this. Search QB. Yeah, Herbert. And then after that, there was the run of like the rest of these top tier quarterbacks. Hurts, Mahomes, Jackson. And I think we can all agree that like Herbert, Allen, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes. God, what am I doing? All right. Allen, Herbert, Hurts, Mahomes, Jackson, and Murray, Kyler, are all in their own little tier with probably, Josh Allen, Herbert, and probably being slightly higher tier. You could maybe throw in Mahomes and Jackson up there. But definitely Kyler Murray was like in that next spot, I feel like. If you go to Pro Football Focus, he was definitely in that top tier. I'll go right now I know navigating the internet is so sick, right, guys? PFF ECR. Let's just do it. Here we go. I'll edit some of this out maybe if it's brutal, but you guys just have to fucking listen. Here we go. Scoring, half point PPR, QB. So, yeah, they have, fortunately, they have Tom Brady in the second tier as well. But, I mean, Kyler Murray is 6. And then below that, you get, like, Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson on a new team, ancient Tom Brady. Like, these guys start to get a little dicey after that. I feel like Kyler Murray is the one guy that has the 1,000-yard rushing upside in addition to maybe throwing for, like, 1 billion yards. So Pebbles knows we were talking during it. I would have definitely taken Kyler in that spot. So it is a little frustrating. But the other ones that he drafted before me, like he drafted Eckler before me. I wasn't an Eckler fan. I probably would have gone Cook anyway there. Round 2, not sure how it affected there. I mean, he might have taken Aaron Jones ahead of me. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his mind was. I would have taken A.J. Brown despite he took Kyle Pitts, so I was totally fine with that. Or sorry, he took T. Higgins ahead. I was reading it wrong. So I would have definitely rather had A.J. Brown than T. Higgins. Didn't really affect. But here he might have taken, he took Allen Robinson. I took Amon-Ra St. Brown, so that didn't affect. Let's look at round 4. I took Darren Waller, he took Kittle. That makes sense. So the pick I really feel like it affected more than anything was the Kyler Murray pick, because then I went kind of panic picked Ramondre after that, because I was definitely gunning for a quarterback. Mahomes, Lamar, and Murray all fell, and Hurts too, who I wasn't super high on, but I might have taken him. All those guys went literally 1, 2, 3, and 5 before my pick at 6. So that was the one spot in the draft where I felt like I would have rather had a spot ahead. But I mean, yeah, it sucks that my shit didn't get tallied right. But I also told them the night of that I was pretty sure I got 4, so they took my word for it and put it down. It is what it is. There was another asterisk where Colin structured the relay incorrectly, and he had Bacon playing the 6th seed instead of the 5th seed. So that's a 12th seed against the 5th seed, but instead he played the 6th seed. Adam was the 5th seed, I'm pretty sure. So it would have been Bacon versus Adam, which was a matchup that actually happened later down the line, so someone would have got bumped. It probably would have been Bacon the way that Adam was playing. So then I would have played Adam and probably would have got smoked too. So, I'm not really too concerned about it. But yeah, that definitely sucks, that anonymous mailbag thing. But let's just have a fun bet. We'll go Tom Brady versus Trey Lance and Kyler Murray. So my 2 quarterbacks versus Kyler Murray. Let's see who does better. It can be any one of mine, and that'll be a fun little side bet for us. All right. So let's just get to the draft now. I mean, what am I going to do here? I'm going to fucking go round by round breakdown. It's all a dartboard to me. It doesn't matter. I was fairly optimistic. I got a bunch of my guys. I got Darren Waller, got A.J. Brown, former champions for me. But yeah, I mean, nothing really screams to me. In terms of walkout songs, selfishly, I feel like my song got a big pop. Don't You Forget About Me. Everyone was singing it. It was great. But me personally, I love Adam's Running Up That Hill, especially with its newfound popularity with the Stranger Things soundtrack. In 2 years in a row for Adam. Gotta love that. So that was my favorite pick for walk-up song. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm not going to get too much into the draft. I don't know who had the best or the worst draft. Doesn't really matter to me. I mean, it's all going to pan out. I'm just going to get to the picks, and we're just going to move forward with life here. That's what we're going to do. Sound good to everybody? I feel like this has already dragged on way longer than I wanted it to, so. Oh, one more memorable moment before I get into picks. I really, really enjoyed the pool after the draft. Everyone was chilling. That was an amazing, amazing time. So, and also shout out to Curtis for writing all these jingles. But he was definitely the MVP of the last day. Freaking doing shrooms, getting fucked up, smoking, sunbathing, drinking goblets of whiskey at the end of the night. Definitely the MVP of that day. All right, let's get to it. Matchups. Who dat say they gonna beat them St. Browns? That's me. Versus We're Gay Now. That's Evan. I didn't really realize it, but Evan has a pretty good team. I'm not sure I agree with Thielen getting that many points. This ancient man is going to get 11, just for sure. I mean, I think he's a little touchdown dependent, so we'll see. So Mahomes versus Brady. I mean, Mahomes is better for sure, and it's going to be a shootout with Arizona. Tom Brady's been dealing with family shit. I'm definitely sus about Tom Brady right now. Brown versus Debo. I like A.J. Brown better. I think I picked him before Debo was off the board. Debo, I'm not sold on him. He's got a new quarterback who he wasn't very high on in the offseason. It seems like Ayuk has all the chemistry with Trey. So I'm going to have to pick Brown, and then Amon-Ra versus Thielen. I got Amon-Ra. Bateman, I'm not really sure what to expect from. I think Renfro will probably edge out Bateman there. Cook versus McCaffrey, got to go with my boy CMC. Aaron Jones versus Cam, got to go with Jones. Waller versus Andrews, kind of a toss-up. Maybe Andrews. So you know what? I'll probably pick Evan over me. So I'm going to pick him to win. I think he'll probably do better. All right, rival. This is number 2, so we're rivals now for this time anyway. Javante's Inferno, which is Pebbles, versus What's a King to a Godwin, which is Sean O'Malley. Let's see here. Quarterback, fucking Kyler Murray. What do you know? Josh Allen, Diggs, Ayuk. I do like Ayuk. I think he's a little underrated. I tried to pick him, but he was already gone. Diggs, Higgins. I really don't love Pebbles' wide receiver core. I feel like they're sus. I mean, when T. Higgins is your one, I don't know if that's great. What was his last season stats? Can I find out? 182 points. So that's a little over 10 a week. I guess that's okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. Am I the only one not buying this T. Higgins hype? All right. And then, of course, Pebbles went back to the well with Allen Robinson the second. I have zero faith he's going to do well. Marquise Brown, another new team. Yeah, Javon. Yeah, I don't know, Pebbles. I do not know. Really, all of your points are coming from Eckler. We'll see how that goes. I mean, that should be a good one. Whew, this is a tough one to pick, but I think I'm going to have to, after all the shit I talked, I think I'm still going to pick Pebbles. Just because I'm a little sus on ETN. I'm not sure he's going to get the workload right away. And then Ayuk and Landry are both big question marks. So I'm going to have to pick your boy Peps. All right. So here we go. Cup Stack Touchdown versus Kevin's 2023. That's Tyler versus Bill. Pretty good teams. They're fairly equal. You got the better quarterback, Hurts. Let's see, wide receiver, Cup, Smith, and Parker versus Hill, Evans, and Moore. I think I like Bill's wide receivers better and his quarterback better. And he has the best running back in the league. And this Bryce Hall guy who's supposed to be a bell cow. I gotta go with Bill here. Sorry, Bacon, but I think Bill might be too much. I think he actually might have a sneaky awesome team. All right, we got Prison Max versus Born Again Virgins. That's Weaver. What is this Born Again Virgins thing? Who is that? Is that Cortland Sutton? Sutton Born Again Virgin? Is this real or is this some fake shit? I'm looking up news. I think this is fake news, dude. What is happening here? There's absolutely nothing about Cortland Sutton being a born again virgin. Oh wait. Yeah. What the hell? What the hell is this? Who's a born again virgin? NFL. What the fuck is a born again virgin? I'm almost scared to Google it. Born again virgin? The fuck? Meaning? Cool. All right. A person, after having engaged in sexual intercourse, makes some type of commitment to not be sexually active again until marriage. Well, that's definitely Weaver. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. All right. We figured it out, guys. We figured it out. Weaver is a born-again virgin. All right. Maxwell Dunn, the Juju. I love that. That's a fun name. Just emojis. Let's see. So Maxwell is betting on some fairly unknown talent here. By unknown, I just mean Drake London and a little bit of an unknown commodity in Juju on Kansas City. And also, I guess getting Barkley, Kamara, and Elliott 3 years ago would be insane. But we got some bell cows for sure. We're going to see how that, bad bell cows. Barkley, I don't know if he's bad, but he's coming off some injuries on a bad offense. Elliott is 3 yards a carry, but he might, go 80 yards on 50 carries and a touchdown. I think, I mean, this is a tough pick here. And then Born Again Virgins, it's Wilson versus Herbert, so one of the best quarterbacks versus another unknown quantity, just a new guy or an old guy on a new team, an old stud on a new team. Chase, Allen, Mooney versus McLaurin, Schuster, and Drake London. That is a giant question mark. Drake London is. Like, is he even playing? Oh, he is playing. Okay. And then we have Fournette and Hunt versus Kamara and Barkley. I got to go with Max here. I think he's going to win. He just has the better quarterback and better running backs. Yeah. Max sneakily had a good draft. How about that? Who would have thought? Now Adam with a monster projection. All right, so then we have the Okefenokee Swamp versus A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. That's Colin versus Adam. And it seems to me that old Silver Adam probably has the better team. So we have Jackson versus Prescott. I got to go with Jackson. That's Colin. Then Jefferson, Pittman, and Waddle versus Lamb, Williams, and Thomas. Very even, I feel like. Michael Thomas is sus as fuck. What's going on with him? He's hurt. Oh, so who's going to play if he's hurt? Oh no. Traylon Burks. Nobody knows who he is. He's supposed to have a major role planned. We'll figure it out, but he's projected 6 points. Or Sky Moore. 2 Ys. Sky Moore. All right. Well, scary. I think I'm going to have to pick, but then we have Chubb and Jacobs versus Henry and Edmonds. It's all so up in the air. Everything's a dart throw. I think I'm going to pick Colin just because of that weird Michael Thomas situation. But I'm hoping Adam gets off the snide here. All right, and finally, we have performance-enhancing drugs? Performance-enhancing drugs versus Cuckfest 2022. And there's a bunch of Spider-Mans pointing to each other. All right. Rodgers versus Burrow, toss-up. Metcalf, Cooks, and Hardman versus Adams, Moore, and Judy. I like Brad's wide receivers much better. Sleepy Joe Mixon versus DeAndre Swift. And then there's Damian Pierce, right? Damian Pierce versus Elijah Mitchell. I don't know. Is Mitchell for sure the starting running back in San Francisco? Or is going to be a weird like tri-committee? Anyway, I think I like Scott's guys a little better. I don't, but if Elijah Mitchell is the guy, then it's definitely going to be Brad. Then we've got Gabe Davis versus Penny, and Knox versus Kelsey. I like Kelsey. I think I got to go with Brad here. Got to go with Brad. Just the Cooks, Mecole Hardman, and then Metcalf without Russell is just a tough wide receiver core. All right, and I think that's pretty much it, right, guys? Do I have anything else to talk about? It's already gone on way longer than I've wanted it to. Dug into the mailbag. Anything fun happening in the group me? Anything fun at all? No, not really. All right, so we have Rams versus Bills tonight. Thursday night, I'll be at a gig. Hopefully not blowing out my back even more, but I'll have it on in the background, which is nice. We'll see how it goes. All right. Well, good chatting with you boys again. Please send in a mailbag next week, and I will try to keep doing this unless you guys, totally suck, in which case I won't do it anymore. All right. Well, I love you guys. Had a great weekend with y'all. My door is always open. All right. Peace out.
Best friends hanging out.